Hello, welcome to Monday's Easter video. My name is Sarah. The passage we're going to look at today is found in John chapter 12 verses 1 to 11, and I'll read it to you now. 6 days before the Passover, Jesus arrived at Bethany, where Lazarus lived, whom Jesus had raised from the dead. Here a dinner was given in Jesus' honour. Martha served, while Lazarus was among those reclining at the table with him. Then Mary took about a pint of pure nard, an expensive perfume. She poured it on Jesus' feet and wiped his feet with her hair, and the house was filled with the fragrance of the perfume. But one of his disciples, Judas Iscariot, who was later to betray him, objected. "Why wasn't this perfume sold and the money given to the poor? It was worth a year's wages." He did not say this because he cared about the poor, but because he was a thief. As keeper of the money bag, he used to help himself to what was put into it. "Leave her alone," Jesus replied. "It was intended that she should save this perfume for the day of my burial. You will always have the poor among you, but you will not always have me." Meanwhile, a large crowd of Jews found out that Jesus was there and came, not only because of him, but also to see Lazarus, whom he had raised from the dead. So the chief priests made plans to kill Lazarus as well, for on account of him, many of the Jews were going over to Jesus and putting their faith in him. I love the stories of Mary, Martha and Lazarus. In fact, my inner Mary and Martha often argue about what's best, and unfortunately, a lot of the time, Martha wins. This story is after that initial story of Mary and Martha arguing over the chores and Jesus saying only one thing is needed, to be at his feet, listening and learning and worshipping. Jesus has also just brought Lazarus back to life. Mary, Martha and Lazarus are back to doing what they do best. Mary expressing her devotion to Jesus in a beautiful way. Martha being practical, and Lazarus probably just overjoyed to be alive and in the presence of Jesus. No tension this time between Mary and Martha. They are accepting of each other's place and gifts. A wise person once said to me, "You are more than what you do." That's so true, isn't it? We're loved by our good Father God. That is who we are. We don't have to work for it. Jesus came to earth to die for us so we can have a relationship with God that we were created for. That love inspires us to worship him and to love and serve others. In fact, loving and serving others, how we live, is an act of worship to God. I used to work with children and families at our old church, and due to troubled times and illness, I was unsure about being involved in that area again at Kingsgate, and was praying that God would show me where I was to serve. And I was open to do something completely different. However, after a conversation with a new friend who asked me what I was passionate about, and hearing the words on a Zoom call that the mission had not changed, I felt God say in a clear way to stop waiting about and do what I've gifted you to do. How will you worship God today? How can you serve our Kingsgate family? Has your part in the mission to make much of Jesus changed? As we move out of lockdown, what is God calling you to do and to be involved in? The same things as before, like Mary and Martha, but with a new heart or attitude? Or something completely different? We may have opposition. The family had to deal with the indignation of Judas and death threats from the chief priests. But the blessing of being with Jesus and serving him far outweighs the opposition. They each had different things to offer as a sacrifice to Jesus. Mary spent a year's wages on the perfume. Martha used her time to serve dinner, and Lazarus sacrificed his safety to be with Jesus. God's love is free and wonderful and life-changing. How will you respond to that love today? I'm going to finish with a passage from Romans chapter 12 from the Message version. So here's what I want you to do, God helping you. Take your everyday, ordinary life, your sleeping, eating, going to work and walking around life, and place it before God as an offering. Embracing what God does for you is the best thing you can do for him. Don't become so well adjusted to your culture that you fit into it without even thinking. Instead, fix your attention on God. You'll be changed from the inside out. Readily recognise what he wants from you and quickly respond to it. Happy Easter, everyone.